Well, welcome to our preview of today's racing on a Thursday, the 21st of July. We're bang in the midst of winter, and not often that Neil and I appear together on the same shows these days because time is of the essence, and there's lots to do. And Neil, great to be with you on for today. We've had a brief chat about it. It's the Vaal Classic track today. Track condition good, no chance of rain. So looking forward to a good day of racing out there today.
Yes, it seems like a little bit better today. The last couple of days have been overcast and cold and miserable, but hopefully there'll be a bit of sun out today. So looking forward to today's racing. Yeah, we've got a couple of horses that we actually like. One race in particular, we narrowed down to 5 horses, and they're the same 5 horses. So yeah, maybe we can hit them today.
Okay, well, I'm just looking now, Neil. One of those 5 is now scratched, but we'll come to that in a moment.
Okay.
That's just appeared now. So let's go to the betting. We're going to take you through the races. First race, Neil, is a work riders race. It is a maiden over 1,000 meters. And here you can scratch number 1, Mandalay is out. Number 6, Gaetana, Alamites front, unshot behind. Unshot number 11, Rebels Cookie, and number 13, Tanusha Star, Alamites in front, unshot behind. So just a few shoe changes over there. I've got the betting up now, which I'm going to, and all the money is for Sam Messiah's mount, which is all the rage here, number 12, Southern Style. Well, the last time you and I were on, we spoke about Sam Messiah. He did win that day, and he looks to win it again today on the Sedort of Canford Cliffs, who I see the Highlands Farm have been tweeting much about, and they've got good reason to tweet because he's really come out the gates flying as a freshman stallion.
Yeah, I think Craig Kidsvetter sent me that through. I think he's had 14, which is equaled Vaal. So one more, and he sets a new target. Individual winners, I think they are. So maybe this might be the one. I wanted to ask you, Nico, because you're a good, you like these things. You know where Southern Style gets its name from?
Well, hang on a second. I'm looking at the pedigree. This is a pure guess, eh?
Yes.
So the mother's Black Velvet.
Yes.
So the song, does it got something to do with the song?
Yes.
Alana
Miles' song.
Alana Miles'
Yes.
song. So was she Southern?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was written about Black Velvet's actually about Elvis Presley. So Black Velvet in that old Southern style.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
New Religion. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I knew you'd like that song because that's your kind of music, Alana Miles.
Fantastic song, yeah. There was another one of her songs, Neil, which I was mad about, but it was lesser known, much lesser known.
No, she was very talented.
But very, very good, yeah.
So I'm with you, Nico. Nicely named, and I think that maybe this is another Canford Cliffs to win. I think you're spot on. The only danger to me probably was the 1, and that scratched, as you point out. Not really much else in the race. So 12, maybe the 8 could be a bit of an improver, Dame Twining, but she's had her chances. So for me, Southern Style, Nico.
Yeah, it does a point to Southern Style. As again, I bring up the point of the standard of the work riders, Neil, without being demeaning to any of them. Sam Messiah in this lineup sticks out like a sore thumb, and one would certainly have to be with him for the Fortune stable, which, by the way, are running high. And a very happy birthday to Ashley Fortune. Yesterday, I think her birthday was. So,
okay.
So she'll be hopefully having some more reason to celebrate today. Okay, let's go to race 2, which is the start of our place accumulator. It's a maiden juvenile plate over 1,600 meters. Scratcher number 1, Battleground, is out. And then number 8, Stepping Out, has a full set of Alamites on. Gavin Lorena rides that for David Nevenhazen, which is one of the stables that we like following. Now, there's been all the money was for Stepping Out. Son of Vaal opened up 7-2, backed into 15-10. So this is a big money horse. Is now out to 16.5 to 10. And then a bit of support for the 6 Poets Warrior. And then sandwiched between them is Slinky Mpimpy. who's at 5-2. And then you've got number 3, Home of the Brave, at 3-1. Those are the principal runners over here. Your take on it?
Well, I was thinking today that the Michael and Adam Azzy stable will have a good day. So I'm expecting Poets Warrior to run well. But I think that number 8, Stepping Out, is certainly going to be a major stumbling block for him. They ran behind Destiny of Souls together. Poets Warrior, though, had already had that run under the belt. So Stepping Out, I think, was made a terrific debut, to be honest, and was drawn 8 out of 10. Today he's drawn 1 out of 10, 1 out of 8.
Yes, 1 out of 8.
So he might reverse that. Well, it's certainly going to be closer, I think. So for me, I saw it as 8, 6, and 7 in that order, Nico.
Yeah. Yeah, Piers Stradham, as we well know, is well documented, has got 7 winners to go to break his 5,500 career winner, and he could go one closer, but as you say, I think the 8 is standing between him and that going down to 6, but I made it between those two. Strangely enough, I put Home of the Brave a little bit into the race because it was a good debut run. Change of rider now. Gavin Lorena, you'd have to say, switched over to the horse that he believes is the better ride, and for that reason, again, it hinges, I mean, it does point to Stepping Out as being a better proposition there. Okay, the third race starts off the pick 6. It's a maiden juvenile plate for fillies over a mile. The scratching here is number 2, Intoxicating, has come out from an informed Dawson stable. Craig Zaki's not riding. That's also flashed up today. So Craig Zaki indisposed today. So in this race, number 7, Rarotonga Rose, is Keegan DeMello. DeMello rides that. And in fact, hang on, another late change is DeMello's also been stood down, Neil.
Oh.
That's just come through. So DeMello also medically indisposed. So DeMello was put on, but it's also come through right now that DeMello is also not riding today. So we don't know who's riding the 7. But that said, I don't think we like that. The favorites are A Colourful Past, number 1, who's been backed from 5-1 into 2-1. Of course, the original favorite scratched, though. Light of Day is 2-1. Tulip Tree down the bottom is 28-10. And then it's 6-1, number 5 on the guest list. So with the absence of Intoxicating, I think we both would have liked quite strongly. What is your fancy?
Marginally the 8, Nico, Tulip Tree. She's the daughter of What a Winter out of a fast net rock mare. I expected her to improve at her second start, and she did, hugely so. She ran on really nicely from off the pace, admittedly, but she's drawn 1. Raymond keeps the ride. There was a lot of strange things going on here with the jockey stores situation. I'd written here originally that it was a case of jockeys playing musical chairs, because Muzzy is normally riding number 1, A Colourful Past. He's on A Light of Day. And then Kamalo had been on number 5 on debut and had shifted to number 1. And then there was another story. Somebody had moved around. Cabela Matsuyama had been on the 7 and moved to the 5. So they were going all over the place. But this race is cut up now significantly. So I don't think there's too many spooks here anymore. I think 8 from 1, Nico.
Yeah, 8 Tulip Tree was definitely my first choice. I like that improved runner up the straight 1,400 meters. And I think from a 1 draw, that could be the key for Tulip Tree, for Stewie Pettigrew, whose stable we like quite a lot today. A Colourful Past, I think, will improve with those blinkers on, and then Light of Day behind that. But I think it does rest between the top 3 in the market. Race 4 starts off the first jackpot at 2:05 this afternoon. It's up the straight 1,000. It's a maiden plate. And here, number 1, Great Times. They've put blinkers on, and they've taken the tongue tie off number 4, Faraway Winter, who was all the rage to win on debut. He's been gelded, Neil. So not only did he disappoint, but he was gelded. He ran up to a point and then just fizzled out completely. But today you find him at 18-10. Change of rider, Diego de Gavea rides him. There was also inspired support for the 5, Kite Surfer, and Kenny Grayling from 14s into 8s has gone back to 10-1. And then number 7, William the Fighter, is at 33-10, and a bit of 6 Varticus at 6-1 and 8-1. A couple of runners there too. But I think this race The pivot is number 4, Far Away Winter. Does he come back to his best and what they think of him in the yard? And I have been privy to a conversation with the As Men over a few soft drinks the other evening. I had some wonderful times with them, and I used to have a horse years ago with Michael Azzy, and it was a pleasure being in his yard. He just, Neil, the one thing about going to see Water Nymph when she ran there was whenever you saw her, whenever she appeared at a race course, he'd make the most moderate horse look like a world beater. And she, the day that she won, looked like she would win the July. And all I think she won was a merit rated 72 fillies race, but she scampered in. But going that aside, he said to me, Nico, we think we got this horse right. And everything flopped on. We rate him highly, so we think he'll go close to winning today.
Well, I think that's all you need, really, because it's not a particularly strong maiden. He's got a pedigree, and the signs are there that they expect him to be a good horse. Diego de Gavea takes over. He was back to the exclusion of everything else, so I'm sure the things went horribly awry. But he did show good pace. It was that, it's not like he ran an absolute shocker. So if they believe they've got him right, that's good enough for me. And actually, to be honest with you, I was surprised to see him at 18-10. I thought that he'd more likely open up something like 14-10 or 12-10. So based on that, he's got to be my first choice, and he is my first choice. Again, interesting that number 2, Forever Free, is ridden by Smangal Kamalo and not Muzzy. Muzzy normally related, and of course rides the Lensley runners. He's actually on the Matchett runner again, number 9, Heart and Mind. So that's the second race in a row he's riding for Paul Matchett and not Corey Lensley. So that was just an aside for me. But number 4, Far Away Winter, Nico. Yeah, I'm going to take my chances with him, I think.
Okay, so Far Away Winter for us, the horse to beat in race number 4 for Diego and the Asmen, as we move on to race 5. And I think this is where the meatier races come into play. Race 5 at 20-3 is an MR70 handicap over 2,000 meters. Scratch number 10, So Long Spring is out. My True North, number 9, with Zaki not riding. JP gets the ride. JP van der Merwe rides number 9, My True North now. And then the other change is number 7, Mingxi. They put a tongue tie on, which is interesting equipment change there, because we thought that Mingxi would run a lot better last time out, but there's obviously some problems there. But they put a tongue tie on that. That's an important jockey change. And number 12, Oris Apollo races with a compression mask on. So here it's a lot more open as far as the betting suggests. Jeez, I'm shocked to see San Quintin favorite. San Quintin, the maiden winner, is favored at 7-2. 4-1 Romeo's Magic, 9-2 Arlington Action, and then 5-1 Mingxi.
Yeah, like you, Nico, I'm a bit shocked to see San Quintin that short. He got the full brunt of the handicapper, didn't he? I mean, he was rated 57, which perhaps was a bit low, but they've given him 7 merit rate, no, 8 merit rated points. Yeah. Listen, and he's drawn 1. He's a lovely horse. He's got a nice pedigree for Greg Bortz and team. Keenan Jansen's also involved. Look at the owners here. You got Mayesh, you got Ashwin Reynolds. So who's who of ownership?
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Nico. Mingxi's only got to give him half a kilogram. The last run's all wrong. The blinkers were on, and I think you can just ignore that. Clearly, they didn't work whatever they were supposed to do, so they've been removed. And Warren Kennedy is, as you say, back on board. And last time Warren rode him, he's only ridden him the once. He ran a decent third to Cool Beichel, which we backed that day. That was actually, I think, our price booster of the day at big odds. So number 7, Mingxi, for me, sets a pretty solid standard. But I don't think the race ends there, Nico. I like 5, Romeo's Magic. Now, that's a horse you liked last time, and he was a big price. He was 14, 16-1 in the morning, and he very nearly won. Yeah, I think you're right. He'll run well.
He would have won, Neil, but the race didn't work out. In fact, I had a chance to speak to Marco Van Rensburg after that. And geez, you watch the race, he got taken out a few times. And I think he would have beaten Jaimala, who's a progressive handicapper. But 2 runs before that, when he ran third to Bit of Fun, he was the horse that kept me in that place accumulator, that very well-publicized PA that we got back 40 grand for 500 and odd rand layout. So he's done me pretty proud. And you know what? I would think he'd go close to winning today. So I'm with him and with Mingxi, but just for sentiment, I think I'd be with Romeo's Magic to win it.
Nico, just throwing another one in there. Number 9, My True North. I think, Craig Zaki was due to ride it. Unfortunately, he's not going to get the opportunity to do that. But I thought the blinkers on, and he looks reasonably handily weighted off 56. I think he might run okay at long odds.
Yeah,
Number
so
9, My True
25 to 1. Interesting you mentioned that, because I did a bit of homework on it. And if you go 3 runs back to the maiden win, I work out that his rating there, he runs to a 67, right? And in the race behind Another Level, which is a strong race, Neil, because he was drawn 8 out of 8, that was a graduation. He actually runs to a 71. So if you take into account that he's racing off a 62, he's a steal at 25 to 1, My True North. He's certainly a runner.
Yeah, I'd agree with that at that price, definitely.
Okay, that's race number 5. As we move on to the 6th race, 3:15 for the Fillies and Mares 91 divided handicap over 1,600 meters. And you and I were in unison when we talked about this one with regard to what stable we were going for over here. And number 4, Peyton's Tears, was due to be ridden by DeMello. As we know, DeMello's not riding, so still without the rider there. Halloween, number 7, is now Pierce Stradham, taking over from Craig Zaki. After what I saw him eat the other day, he is plus a half, coming in at 54. So I hope they've given him a call to ask him if he's okay to ride 54. But sure. Anyway. So let's have a look at the betting here. Well, Neil, we said Stuart Pettigrew was the stable to follow here. They're joint favorites at 7 to 2, Gilded Butterfly and Halloween. And then you've got 6 to 1 Pinup, 7 to 1 Peyton's Tears, Now You See Me, and Cherangorma. There's been a bit of money for Cherangorma from 10s into 7s, but you and I both thought, we didn't really necessarily agree on which one, but we thought Pettigrew would win this.
Yeah, Nico, it will tell you he's on 6 Gilded Butterfly. And I was on Cherangorma, certainly at 10 to 1, for a couple of reasons, Nico. I mean, I think we all got thrown off because of the mother here, because the mother is Gorongosa. Now, that family, it's the Wilkebos Drift Maritsfontein family. They stay all day. And Cherangorma, as a result, being a daughter of Flower Alley, you'd think that 2 miles would be her story. But the truth is, since she's been stepped up to try those distances from which her pedigree would suggest she would be most effective, she hasn't actually been most effective for whatever reason. Now, I think as a result, the drop back to a mile is actually a good move. And that's franked by the fact that she's had 3 runs over this distance, this mile, and she's won 2 of them, and she run second in the other one.
Yeah.
So I actually think, although somebody said somewhere, was it at the front of the computer form said, and I think maybe Rod Becker said, let me see. Yeah, stable, no, it wasn't here. It was somewhere else. Maybe at the comments at the front, but said, should need the triple, something like that. But I think that Cherangorma will run well here. And I like the booking of Muzzy, by the way. So, yeah, Muzzy's never ridden for Stuart Pettigrew, according to this.
No. So I
find
thought,
hard.
You mentioned jockeys earlier on. There've been a few strange jockey choices on this card. And the highlight of the card for me was seeing a lot of new jockeys riding for stables and strange bookings. But this was one of them. I don't recall him ever riding for Stuart Pettigrew, but then Stuart Pettigrew has changed his direction slightly with regards to the riders that he uses. So he could be most effective on this. I thought that, like you, I thought for me, as you said, I thought Gilded Butterfly, I like the way that it won last time out, did take a hike of 3 points, but I think she's coming into her own. I think I tipped her absolute confidence 2 runs back, Neil. I thought she'd scoot home that, and she didn't. But I think as the overused saying, the pennies dropped. I mean, they use that every single day on live television these days. So I'm using it once in a blue moon here. Excuse that pun as well. But yeah, I think Gilded Butterfly, I like that quite strongly. But I'm prepared to accept that Cheringorma is the danger.
Yeah, well, and the third string to that pedigree bow, number 9, Quiet Rebellion's not out of it either, I don't think, on some form, and that's at 16-1.
Yeah.
She should be held by Gilded Butterfly. She's 3 kilograms better off, and she was beaten 6 lengths, but I don't think that was her effort last time.
Yeah.
I think she's much better than that. And she did run in that Igoli mile. She's got a sneak, but basically we like the pedigree horses.
Okay, then let's move into the 7th race. The fillies and mares 72 divided handicap at 10-4. It's over 1,600 meters. I'm just going to update the changes again because they come through every now and then. There's another change coming through, but that 7th race remains at this stage clear. So no changes here. The favorite Silvery Blue, Neil, is number 5 at 28-10. In fact, no, Defender of Rights is the favorite. So let's go to that. Defender of Rights is the favorite at 2-1. Defender of Rights, my goodness. 2-1 Defender of Rights. Silvery Blues at 28-10. And then after those, it's 11-2 Dancing Arabian, Neil, and 10-1 Fantasy Flower. Now, you and I had a similar view on this race, and it wasn't involving the fancied horses at all.
No, Nick, I'm shocked to see, and I could hear it in your voice as well, a Defender of Rights at 2-1. I mean, I'm not saying she can't win, but well, perhaps I am. I don't know. I mean, not at 2-1. Gee whiz. I mean, she's obviously got ability, and she's got a lovely pedigree, but she's got to carry 59.5 kilograms. Now, I know it's only a 72 divided handicap. It's not a particularly strong field, but, you know, she's got to ship Fantasy Flower, for example. I'm just using her as an example. She's got to ship Fantasy Flower with Muzzy on board, 7.5 kilograms. And Fantasy Flower is a 2-time winner. She's dropped down 31, believe it or not, merit-rated points. I think it's a lot deeper than 2-1 about number 2 Defender of Rights. I do respect Silvery Blue. Silvery Blue is only carrying 56.5 kilograms, and she's got pretty solid form. And you mentioned earlier on, the birthday girl, Ashley Fortune, has got some excellent form. The yard's looking good. This is actually owned by the much better half of the Jansens. This is not Keenan's colors. This is Michelle's, his wife.
Yeah,
I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. So I think it's a lot deeper. One of the horses we both liked a little bit, number 4, Saint Anastasia, has drifted somewhat alarmingly in the betting market from 17-2 out to 25-2. I want to give that a mention. But all in all, Nico, I mean, it's a 72 handicap. I'm going to take on the favorite, number 2 Defender of Rights.
Yeah, we are. Well, I certainly am too. I'm surprised to see that Consul Queen has held her ground here, because she ran at Scottsville yesterday, Neil. She ran 7.5 lengths behind Raspberry Beret. So providing there are no setbacks on Consul Queen's journey back to Joburg, she'll take her place, because she hasn't been scratched yet. So she'll run back-to-back races. I'm really interested to see that. But as you quite rightly say, the interesting jockey booking of biblical proportions here is number 3, Lollapalooza. Gavin Larena riding for Yapi Visser.
Yeah, yes. And in addition to that, apart from being a jockey stripe, drawn 1. And if you have a look at the last 4 races, look at her last 4 races. At the Vaal on the 9th of June, she was drawn 12 out of 13 on this classic track. So that was dead. She went from 12 out of 13 to a 1 draw today. Then in a graduation around the Turffontein inside track was drawn 7 out of 7. Okay, it was a small field, but she still had the worst of the draw, now got the best of the draw. Then there was a straight run, so we don't have to worry about that. But that was actually in a merit rated 80, which is not too bad. This is a merit rated 72. And then last time again around the turn, this time on the Greyville Polly, was drawn 9 out of 12. So she's going to look to her right, and she's going to say, "What on earth is that?" And Gavin's going to say, "That's the running rail. She hasn't seen that forever." So Lollapalooza definitely a lurker, Nico. She's come from the Eastern Cape, but you know, when she was in the Eastern Cape, she ran in that. She ran in the Ladies Pendant. She ran in a couple of feature races down there. Not the worst 12-1 shot I've seen with Gavin on board.
No, so maybe Gavin was also the recipient of that email that you received from the Visser Yard and decided to help him out by taking up the ride there. So all I know is that this race is a lot wider open than betting 2-1 and 28-10. I think Silvery Blue may be the roving banker, but certainly there's a lot of value, I think, to be had there. As we move on to the last race of the day, 25 past 4 for a classified stakes over a mile. Scratch is number 6, Neil. This was the scratching I wanted to add, and it came through very late in the day. Quest from Afar is out coughing, awaiting the rider for number 3, Wandering Star. No rider yet with De Mello missing out on the action today at the Vaal. And then number 8, Absolute Value, has a compression mask on. So let's delve into this one. Looking at the betting, it's 9-2 the field here. So the 2 St. John Grey horses both got chances. Just to memory, Wandering Star 9-2. Queen Bomi number 7 is at 5-1 with number 11 Java House. Then 6 was at 6-1, but it's now out. 5 Just Be Nice at 7-1, and then 10-1 and Better Bar those. Interesting contest.
It is an interesting contest, and I need to declare, you know, Nico, you and I have been working together forever and a day. And we don't often take jibes at each other, but here's one coming your way. Okay. Are you going to tip Java House again today?
No.
Good. I'm glad you're over that.
So I think I've cured that disease. Neil, I did go for it last time, much to my dismay, but the distance is the main thing against it. I don't know. They're trying 1600 with it. I think the distance
is extremely trying. The horse is very trying. I mean, I commend, actually, it's Stuart, isn't it? Stuart's the
no, Stephen.
Oh, Stephen. Sorry, Stuart.
Stephen.
Sorry, Stephen. Yeah. I should know that. So I want to commend him because, you know, he's had faith in the filly, and she tries her heart out, I must say. I hope that she does pick up a heat at some point in time, but she's very hard to back. It's now 763 days since her last win. Yeah, I mean, that is some achievement. That's nearly 2 years. Is it over 2 years? Must be.
No, it is
663, close to it.
It is. It's over it. Yeah, she hasn't won in over 2 years. Yeah.
So well done to Stephen and obviously Lawrence and the family. I hope she cracks it at some point in time. But gee whiz, if you've been backing her for 763 days, you've gone out.
Well, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, but you haven't always gone for it, to be fair. It was just the last time that I couldn't believe you'd gone for it.
Yeah.
Particularly when our old faithful Cottonos was in race.
Yeah.
Not that I tipped Cottonos myself, but anyway. Coming back to the race, very open, Nico. Classified stakes race. Interesting money for one of the horses that we did have as a mutual horse, and that's number 8, Absolute Value. Yeah. Who certainly at 25-1 was exactly that, Absolute Value. I know it's a colt running in or a gelding actually running in a classified stakes race, but he's got Muzzy staying on board, and we both like that with the fitting of the pacifiers. But it's a swirler bit race, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, there's a few in here with chances. As I said, we went 5 horses flat. I think both St. John Grey horses are much of a muchness. I would probably lean slightly towards just a memory. It is a jockey strike with Gavin sitting on it. Ran in that same Cottonos race, but that and Wandering Star pretty much represent the same sort of form. The 2 9-2 chance. I wouldn't be surprised. The St. John Grey stable a bit flat at the moment, so prepared to take them on. As you mentioned, Absolute Value. There's a few in the race. So we're advising to play wide. Down at the bottom there, we mentioned English Primrose as a possibility. Come down in the handicap big time, Neil. Racing for 59 now, but with the apprentice allowance comes in with only 50 kilos. So there's a few in here with chances.
Yeah, very open race. The more we look at it, the more open it becomes. We did like 6 Quest from Afar because he got away. Conversely to that other horse's favourite later on in the day, he got an 8-point penalty for winning a maiden. this horse, number 6, Quest from Afar, won by 5 1/4 lengths and stayed off at 67. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying it should have been hiked. Maybe they're right. But nevertheless, it looked like it got a bit of a free pass. But anyway, we won't know that till it runs again. Number 6, Quest from Afar. Very open race, Nico. I think both of our advice, although you and I like the same 4 horses, we wouldn't put anybody off going wide in this last leg.
Right, that's our preview of today, Neil. Thanks so much. There's no Joburg racing on the weekend. I don't know if you know that. Joburg racing is, well, we're devoid of any Joburg racing this weekend, but there is racing in Cape Town on Saturday and in Natal on Sunday and Monday. And then we're looking forward to the big Gold Cup meeting, which will cap off another wonderful season that we've had. And we'll be counting down next weekend because we're doing our very popular Clock in the Gallop Extra promotion, which will launch in the next 24 hours. But that promised to be a great meeting. Just a quick thought on your part for the Gold Cup itself. Sean Terry's got 2 of the top 3 in the market, Nebras and Blackthorn in the race. And then I know after speaking to Mike de Kock a couple of days ago that his Derby winner, Aragosta, is working very well down in Durban, and that tries the 3-2. So, you know, that's the top of the boards, though, all those 3. What did you have any early thoughts on it, or will you rather just wait for next week?
I'll probably wait for the card, but now that you ask me, I've always felt Aragosta would be a Gold Cup kind of horse, so I'd have to have a look at the weights. I think Blackthorn is very progressive, and I think he's still underrated, actually.
Yeah.
So I'd prefer to, of the Tarry runners, I think I'd prefer to be with him. If you are in the Nebraska camp, as you know, I put that Lance Michaels push Nebraska out to 3-1. There's some folks who were taking 18 to 10, 2-1. So if you're going to back Nebraska, take the 3-1. Not for me, not from a value perspective anyway. But I'll look, because there might be a bit of a lurker there, I find. But the 2 that you've mentioned there, Aragosta and Blackthorn, without having a look at cards and nominations, look to be horses that I think could feature in the Gold Cup.
Okay, Neil, thanks so much for your time. Don't forget, we'll have Nino Podesta talking about tomorrow's Fairview card later this evening and the launch of our Clock in the Gallop Extra subscriptions for next weekend. Thanks so much, Neil. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day out at the Vaal Classic Track today punting.
Thanks, Nico. You too.
Cheers.